Imagine a world where the mightiest empire on earth, a nation that once controlled a quarter of the globe and fueled the Industrial Revolution, wakes up to find its coffers empty, its influence evaporated, and its people wondering where it all went wrong. This is not a work of fiction. It is the cautionary tale of Great Britain's lost century. A slow-motion economic car crash that some analysts estimate has cost the nation $35 trillion in potential wealth and global standing. But the most chilling part of this story is Junte British to clean it as the fact that the United States, the current global hegemon, is now walking the exact same path, step by reckless step. We are witnessing a historical mirror image, where the mistakes of the past are being rebranded as the new normal of the present. From the hollowed-out husks of industrial heartlands to a mountain of debt that defies comprehension, the patterns are identical. Britain's $35 trillion mistake wasn't a single event, but a series of choices to prioritize finance over factories and debt over discipline. Now, as the U.S. national debt crosses thresholds once thought impossible in its own industrial base, faces a structural crisis, the question is no longer if America is following Britain, but how much time is left before the mirror shatters. The story begins. The first major pillar of this mistake is the de-industrialization. In the mid-20th century, Britain's manufacturing sector began a steep decline that it never recovered from. They believed that a service-based economy could replace the high-paying, high-productivity jobs of the industrial sector. They were wrong. As the factories closed in the north, a massive regional divide opened up, leaving millions in a cycle of low-wage work and government dependency. This hollowing out meant that when global supply chains shifted, Britain had no leverage. America is currently reliving this nightmare in the Rust Belt. Entire cities that once built the modern world have become monuments to a bygone era, replaced by a precarious gig economy. The danger here is that once the industrial know-how is lost, it is nearly impossible to get back. Without a strong manufacturing base, a nation loses its ability to innovate at the physical level, becoming a mere consumer of other nations' brilliance. We are seeing this now as the U.S. struggles to keep pace with emerging powers in everything from green energy components to advanced transitioning from debt to the third pillar. Imperial Overreach. At heat's aid, Britain was stretched thin, maintaining military bases and political influence in corners of the world that offered no economic return. This imperial tax drained the home country of the capital it needed to modernize its own schools, roads, and energy grids. America's current global footprint is even larger, with hundreds of bases worldwide and involvement in multiple simultaneous conflicts. The U.S. is spending trillions on policing the globe, while its own internal infrastructure receives D grades from engineers. This mismatch between global ambition and domestic reality is the classic symptom of a declining power. The $35 trillion mistake is the cost of choosing the prestige of an empire over the prosperity of a republic. Every dollar spent on an unnecessary foreign entanglement is a dollar not spent on the next generation of American workers or the next breakthrough in domestic technology. The fourth pillar is the financialization of the soul. Britain's economy became so dominated by the City of London that the needs of the financial. Finally, we have the social decay that follows economic decline. As Britain's economic engine stalled, the social fabric began to tear. Regional inequality, a sense of being left behind, and a loss of national purpose led to decades of political instability and social unrest. America is currently in the throes of this exact phenomenon. The political polarization, the rise of populism, and the general sense of malaise are not random. They are the predictable results of an economy that has stopped working for the majority of its citizens. The $35 trillion mistake is ultimately a human one. It's the cost of lost potential, destroyed communities, and a future that looks smaller than the past. Britain's story is a mirror, and a reflection looking back at America is a warning. No nation, no matter how powerful, is immune to the laws of economics. The mistakes of the British Empire were not inevitable, and neither are America's. But the window to change course is closing. Britain's $35 trillion mistake was thinking that they could remain a superpower without an industrial heart or a balanced checkbook. They chose the illusion of wealth over the reality of production. America is now at the apex of that same choice. We can either learn from the ghost of Britain's decline and reinvest in our people, our factories, and our fiscal sanity, or we can continue to walk the path of the lost century. The dollar is still the reserve currency. The US still has the world's most innovative companies, and the talent of the American worker is still unmatched, but these are assets that must be nurtured, not exploited. The ghost of Britain's past is whispering to us, reminding us that an empire is not lost in a day, but through 1,000 small compromises and one giant $35 trillion mistake. The future is still unwritten, but if we don't look at the mirror, we are destined to become the reflection.